Hi, I'm Gary Mittleman, President and CEO of ReVivo Medical. Anterior cervical discectomies are a common surgical procedure that have been used since the 1950s. Worldwide, over 400,000 of these procedures are performed annually. The market for the implants used in these procedures is estimated to be $2.5 billion. Our company has developed, tested, and patented a unique design that will significantly improve patient outcomes, is less expensive to manufacture, and will make it easier for the surgeon to use. We are currently preparing for a clinical trial for FDA clearance to go to market in the United States.
I'm Dr. Darryl Dirisio, Chief Medical Officer of ReVivo Medical. 70 million Americans suffer from low back or neck pain. For those requiring surgery, spinal fusion is the gold standard treatment. In the neck, most commonly, an anterior cervical discectomy and fusion is performed to alleviate pain due to degeneration of the intervertebral disc. The goal of the procedure is to decompress the nerves and fuse the vertebrae. Two different types of implants are used during the surgery. An interbody cage, which serves as a spacer to prevent the nerves from being compressed, and a plate, which stabilizes the spine during fusion, similar to the way a cast stabilizes an extremity fracture while bone is healing. The cages and plates are made by many well-known companies, including Medtronic, Johnson & Johnson, Stryker, and others. While this is a common procedure, there have been very few improvements to the methods and devices that we surgeons have used over the past 50 years. In fact, existing implants are essentially a commodity and have no differentiating features. Is there a need for a next generation device that can dramatically improve patient outcomes and make it easier for surgeons to use? Absolutely, and we have it.
I'm Ledet, Chief Science Officer of ReVivo Medical. The science of spine fusion and the engineering of implants has improved significantly over the last several decades. We now know that the best way to get bone to grow is to load it, like during weight-bearing exercises. Yet the implants which are used for spine fusion surgery today actually shield the bone from this beneficial loading. And that's not ideal, because the goal of these procedures is to get bone to fuse two adjacent vertebrae. Ideally, the implants would allow for load sharing to promote bone growth. One way to achieve this load sharing is to design an implant to flex just a very little bit. Armed with the scientific knowledge of how bones respond to loading, we set out to develop spinal fusion cage and plate implants that would load share to promote faster fusion. But we didn't stop there. We also wanted to incorporate into the design of the implants elements that would make the procedure easier and faster for the surgeon.
During a procedure, the surgeon wants to keep the incision as small as possible. In doing so, the implants themselves can obscure visualization of the anatomic landmarks and result in their malposition. Through an innovative design feature in our implants, surgeons can change a couple of key steps in their technique, which dramatically improves visualization and also skips a few steps. This saves both time and expense.
I'm Dr. Glenn Sanders, Chief Technology Officer of ReVivo Medical. Because of our unique design, our implants are also less expensive to manufacture. Our design is monolithic, meaning it's just a single component, not an assembly. Industry standard dynamic plates are comprised of multiple components that must be assembled together and are estimated to cost around $400 to manufacture. Our plates are made from a single piece of medical grade titanium, but through innovative design, still incorporate all of the critical features that are necessary of a plate. In volume, we believe our manufacturing costs will be in the range of $160. Most cages being sold today are constructed of PEEK, a plastic that is proprietary and expensive to license. Because of the way the body responds to PEEK long term, its use has recently fallen out of favor. Like our plate, our cage is made from a single piece of medical grade titanium, which has well-established biocompatibility and is less expensive to manufacture. We are very proud of our accomplishments to date. They demonstrate proof of concept, market demand, IP protection, and the first two products are really just the beginning, as we've got a pipeline for future product development. Implants have been designed, fabricated, and laboratory tested to confirm performance. The company was awarded a grant from the National Institutes of Health, the most competitive arena for new medical technology, which indicates the potential impact of our products. Results from our preclinical testing show that we outperform one of the most commonly used products in the market by approximately 50%. Results from this study were published in the Spine Journal, the top medical journal in the field of spine. Third-party physician reviews indicate a strong preference for our cage, plate, and surgical instrument design. ReVivo Medical has been awarded 10 U.S. patents, 2 foreign patents to protect our designs, with 5 additional patents pending.
We are currently preparing for our first in-human use clinical trial. The FDA has sanctioned a 50-patient clinical trial to support our application for clearance to go to market in the United States. The results from this clinical trial can also be used to support an application for a CE mark for going to market in Europe. We're going to approach the clinical trial in 3 stages. In stage 1, we will acquire device inventory and instruments, arrange agreements with the 2 sites for our clinical trial, the Cleveland Clinic and Albany Medical Center Hospital, and recruit patients. We expect this will take about 6 months. During stage 2, we will conduct the 50 surgical procedures and initial follow-up assessments at the Cleveland Clinic and Albany Medical Center Hospital. Combined, these 2 stages will take about 1 year and cost about $1.5 million. At the conclusion of stage 2, we should have early indications of how our devices are performing. At that point, we intend to raise additional funds for stage 3, which is tracking the patient outcomes and reporting results to the FDA. We believe the company's value will be significantly higher at the end of stage 2 than it is now, and by raising funds in 2 tranches, we can limit ownership dilution.
We have compiled an ideal team that as a group has all of the skills required to develop an array of innovative medical devices. Dr. Darryl Dirisio, our Chief Medical Officer, is a preeminent board-certified spine surgeon and professor of neurosurgery at the Albany Medical College. Dr. Ledet, our Chief Science Officer, is professor of biomedical engineering at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and research scientist at the Rehabilitation and R&D Service at the Stratton VA Medical Center. Dr. Glenn Sanders, holding a Ph.D. in biomedical engineering, is now serving as Director of R&D at Intrinsic Therapeutics. The founders have spent their careers designing medical devices and conducting complex spine surgery. Their award-winning research has been the basis for over 200 peer-reviewed presentations and publications. I joined the team in 2015 as the company's president and CEO. I bring some 40 years of business experience from Booz Allen & Hamilton, Fortune 100 companies, and startups. I was the founder of Plug Power, a high-tech energy company that I brought public in 1999 with an IPO led by Goldman Sachs. We recognize that we do not have the skill set nor breadth of product line to effectively compete with large medical device companies that have established distribution channels. Our aim is to advance our product development to a stage that makes it sufficiently attractive for a large established industry participant to license or purchase our IP. Most likely, this will happen after the completion of our clinical trial. We believe that a successful licensing agreement of our cages and plates has the potential to yield $22 million annually in royalty fees. Further, we have 5 more products in various stages of development that have the possibility of generating additional income.